we try to apply whatever we've seen in the previous classes. So let's take the diameter, okay, or let's take any chord on the circle, and I'm forming a triangle here. Now, guys, in this triangle, let's call it as triangle OAB. Okay, you may observe that it's an isosceles triangle. Why? OA and OB are the radii of the same circle. Okay, so the base angles will also be equal, right? So I'm calling all like each of these angles as x degrees each, right? Now, if you talk about, let's say, angle AOD, AOD will be the exterior angle, right, guys? We know that exterior angle is equal to sum of the two remote interior angles, right? So angle AOD here will be equal to how much? X plus X, or 2x, isn't it? Likewise, I form a similar triangle over here, okay, where the angles given are y and y respectively. Okay, what is this angle here indicated in blue? The angle will be y plus y, 2y, by the exterior angle property, right? Now, if I replace 2x plus 2y by a single angle, that is twice of x plus y, okay, what do you observe about this angle in blue? This angle is x plus y, isn't it? Okay, so that means if you have, an arc which subtends an angle theta over here, right? If the arc subtends an angle theta, okay, what I'm doing is I'm joining these 2 points of the arc, okay, and I'm making them meet on the circumference of the circle like this, okay. Okay, so it is something like this. Okay, the angle which you're forming here, okay, this angle, it is called as the inscribed angle here in this case. And what do we observe, guys? जो भी अपने arc का angle होगा या जो भी central angle होगा, the inscribed angle will be exactly half of it, right? So अगर ये angle theta है, the inscribed angle is theta by 2. So for that matter, you can make the angle anywhere you like. See, I've given you 3 different positions. You can have many more if you want. Okay, you can make this point somewhere over here also. Okay, so this angle will also be theta by 2. Okay, you can have this point here also, so the angle will still be theta by 2. So all these angles here, guys, will be theta by 2, right? And we can basically call this in the form of statement. Okay, and the statement is the measure of the inscribed angle is half the measure of the central angle or the intercepted arc. Okay, this is called as the inscribed angle theorem. Okay, मतलब जो भी center पे angle बन रहा होगा, ओके, जो भी आर्क का इंटरसेप्टेड आर्क का एंगल होगा, उसका हाफ हो जाएगा अपना इंस्क्राइब्ड एंगल. ओके, इंस्क्राइब्ड एंगल हम कैसे फॉर्म करेंगे? ओके, वेरी वेरी सिंपल. ओके, यू टेक एनी 2 पॉइंट्स, ओके, मेक इट द आर्क, ओके, मेक दिस आर्क का एंड पॉइंट्स फॉर्म एन एंगल. ओके, दिस एंगल विल बी कॉल्ड एज द इंस्क्राइब्ड एंगल. ये हमेशा क्या हो जाएगा? हाफ. ओके, वेयर थीटा विल बी द सेंट्रल एंगल और इट इज द इंस्क्राइब्ड, इट इज द इंटरसेप्टेड आर्क का एंगल, राइट? ओके गाइस, सो वी टेक इट फर्दर नाउ. इसका एक स्पेशल एप्लीकेशन हम देखेंगे गाइस. हमने क्या देखा? जो भी आर्क का मेजर होगा, ओके, द इंस्क्राइब्ड एंगल विल बी हाफ ऑफ इट, राइट? अगर ये एंगल देखो आर्क का थीटा हो गया, इफ द मेजर ऑफ आर्क इज थीटा और सेंट्रल एंगल इज थीटा, द इंस्क्राइब्ड एंगल इज थीटा डिवाइडेड बाय 2, right? So now what we have is we have the diameter of a circle. Okay, I'm calling AB as a diameter. Okay, अगर AB diameter है means I have broken the circle into 2 halves. Okay, तो ऊपर वाले हाफ का और नीचे वाले हाफ का दोनों का मेजर कितना होगा? 180 degrees, right? But now you can observe that I have formed the inscribed angle. Okay, the inscribed angle AXB for this arc, right? Okay, so the inscribed angle will be half of this arc. Half of this arc 180 will be half of 180, which is 90, right? So basically you can make it anywhere. You can take this point anywhere. You can make the inscribed angle anywhere. You will observe that the inscribed angle will be half the intercepted arc. So half of 180 will be 90 degrees, isn't it? So this is special application of the inscribed angle theorem. It says the diameter subtends a right angle at any point on the circle except its endpoints. Okay, so you take any point on the circle. Okay, एक point मैंने suppose ये mark किया. I join the endpoints of circle, the diameter, sorry. Okay, all these angles here, this angle, then this angle, right? All these angles will be nothing but 90 degrees. Okay, and except the endpoint. So if you consider the like 2 points, one over the other, okay, एक angle form होगा, right? This angle will not be 90 degrees. Okay, this angle will be 0. Okay, so a diameter subtends a right angle at any point on the circle except its endpoints. Okay, okay, this is called as the inscribed angle theorem for the diameter of a circle. Okay, this is a special application of that. Now guys, again I have drawn a tangent to the circle. Okay, we know that tangent meets the circle at exactly 1 point, and at that point it is perpendicular to the radius here, right? Now what I will do is I'll draw a line which passes through the circle in 2 points, or which meets the circle in exactly 2 points. It is called as the secant. Okay, so you observe that there is an angle being formed by the segment, the secant and the tangent here, right? Okay, a line which meets the circle in 1 point, the tangent, and the line which meets the circle in 2 points, the secant, right? So between the secant and the tangent, we have an angle being formed, right? So what I am doing here is I'm studying the relationship of the angle, okay, formed between the secant and tangent with the intercepted arc, okay, and the inscribed angle. We'll study all this, okay. So let's call this angle is theta, okay. Angle between the secant and tangent will be theta. Now guys, this entire angle we know is 90 degrees, okay. ये मैंने दिखाया भी है, tangent perpendicularity. So if this much is theta, the remaining part, this much will be how much? 90 minus theta, isn't it? Now we saw that, and we should know by now that this triangle being formed here, it's an isosceles triangle, right? अगर ये isosceles triangle है इतना पूरा, okay, and एक angle अगर 90 minus theta है, तो दूसरा angle ये कितना हो जाएगा? ये भी होगा 90 minus theta, right? This angle here will be also 90 minus theta. Okay, now look at this entire triangle, guys. In this entire triangle, sum of all these three angles should be how much? 180. Okay, so अगर ये angle मैंने x मान लिया, x plus 90 minus theta plus 90 minus theta should be equal to how much? 180, right? So I'll just write it here. X plus 90 minus theta plus 90 minus theta will be 180 degrees, right? So 180 cancel हो गया दोनों बाजू में. X is equal to minus theta so उस बाजू चला गया, क्या हो जाएगा? 2 theta, right? So x is equal to 2 theta. Okay, in simple words, the central angle is 2 theta, right? अब अगर suppose मैंने inscribed angle draw किया, guys, अभी हमने क्या सीखा है? The inscribed angle will be half the measure of the intercepted arc, right? Okay, so this is basically called as the alternate segment theorem. Okay, it says the measure of the angle formed between the tangent and the secant is half the measure of the intercepted arc or central angle, and that angle is equal to the inscribed angle here, right? You can see it here, right? Okay, ये angle 2 theta हो गया by inscribed angle theorem. Okay, inscribed angle क्या हो जाएगा उसका? Half. 2 theta का half is theta again, right? It's called as the alternate segment theorem because we start with this segment. Okay, ये हो गया अपना central angle, ये हो गया inscribed angle. So alternate, right? Theta, 2 theta, theta. That's why it's called as the alternate segment theorem. Okay. AC is a chord of a circle whose center is at O. If B is any point on the arc AC and angle OCA is 20 degrees, then the magnitude of angle ABC means value of angle ABC is how much? That's the question. You can anyway pause the video and try it out. Then we'll discuss. All right, guys. So I think you might have got the answer already. We have a circle. AC is the chord and B is any point on arc AC. So मैंने B यहाँ पे लिया है. Okay, O is the center of the circle, right, guys? And it is given that OCA is equal to 20 degrees. Now, OA and OC will be equal, radii of same circle. So OCA, okay, ये आप याद रख लो guys हमेशा के लिए. Okay, the angle formed by the two radii and the chord is always an isosceles triangle. Equilateral भी होगा अगर ये angle 60 डिग्री हो जाएगा तो, but generally you can say it's always an isosceles triangle. Okay, तो अगर ये angle 20 degrees है guys, ये angle भी कितना हो जाएगा? By the same logic, 20 degrees. Okay, base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal, right? Now in triangle OAC, okay, 20 are the base angles. Okay, so ये vertex कितना होगा? 140. 180 minus 20 plus 20 हो जाएगा 140. And now by the inscribed angle theorem, ABC कितना हो जाएगा? 140 का half, which is 70 degrees. Now majority of the people make this mistake and mark the answer as 70. But now guys, the problem in this approach is that I have assumed that B is lying on the major arc here, right? Okay, what if B lies on the minor arc AC? So यहाँ पे एक और case बनेगा where B is lying on the minor arc AC in this case, right? Okay, अब देखते हैं कितना वैल्यू होगा एंगल ABC का. So OCA is 20, OAC is 20 again by the same logic. AOC कितना हो जाएगा? 140. Now guys, if you observe carefully, this remaining angle should be how much? 360 minus 140, isn't it? ये पूरा 140 है ना, तो बचा हुआ ये एंगल कितना होगा? This angle will be how much? 360 minus 140, which is 220 degrees. Okay, now ABC guys is the inscribed angle for this major arc, right? तो ABC कितना हो जाएगा? 220 का half, जो कि हो जाएगा 110 degrees, right? So your answer can be either 70 degrees or 110 degrees. Hence your actual answer will be cannot be determined. As shown in the below figure, chord PQ is parallel to the diameter XY of the circle. If angle YRP equals to 65 degrees, then find the measure of angle YPQ. Okay, so we have been given angle YRP as 65 degrees, and it is given that chord PQ is parallel to diameter XY. Okay, then find the measure of angle YPQ is what is asked. Okay, now there's a small construction. Okay, I'll make. Okay, and this question can be solved very easily. So there are multiple ways. I'll be showing you the best or the shortest way to solve the same question. So let's start by drawing the line PX. Okay. Okay. Now guys, if XY is the diameter of circle, then XPY will be a 90, will be right angle because diameter subtends a right angle at any point on the circle, right? So XPY कितना हो जाएगा? 90 degrees, right? If XPY is 90 degrees, guys, also observe that PRY or YRP is 65 degrees. Okay, PRY is the inscribed angle for the arc PQY, isn't it, guys? Okay, इसी arc में एक और inscribed angle है, कौन सा? Angle PXY. तो ये भी कितना हो जाएगा, guys? ये भी हो जाएगा 65 degrees. Now let's observe triangle PXY, guys. In this triangle PXY, okay, एक angle 65 है, दूसरा 90 है, तो बचा हुआ कितना होगा? 90 minus 65, which is 25 degrees, right? So angle XYP is equal to 25 degrees. But observe carefully, as per the question, guys, XY is parallel to PQ. So across transversal PY, the alternate angle should be same, right? तो अगर XYP 25 है, XP cubic YP cubic कितना होगा? 25 degrees, and that's why your answer is 25 degrees. As simple as that.